Hello, and thank you for joining us in this detailed exploration of COVID-19 vaccines, with a special focus on how they affect older adults here in the United States. If you're 65 years or older, or if you're a caregiver for someone in that age group, staying informed about the latest developments can empower you to make the best decisions for your health and well-being. As we stand here in 2025, the landscape of COVID-19 vaccination has evolved significantly, reflecting ongoing research, real-world data, and policy adjustments from health authorities like the CDC and FDA. We'll delve deeply into the impacts of these vaccines on seniors, covering both the protective benefits that have been demonstrated in reducing severe illness and the potential risks or side effects that everyone should be aware of. Then, we'll discuss practical health care measures you can take to stay safe, including vaccination schedules, complementary preventive steps, and how to access care. Remember, this information is based on the most current guidelines as of August 2025, but it's not a substitute for personalized medical advice. Always talk to your healthcare provider about your specific situation, especially if you have underlying conditions or concerns. Let's start by understanding why COVID-19 remains a particular threat to older adults and how vaccines fit into the picture. You see, even in 2025, COVID-19 continues to pose a heightened risk for people over 65. Statistics from the CDC show that more than 80% of COVID-19 related deaths in the US have occurred in this age group, with the mortality rate being dramatically higher, up to 100 times greater, compared to younger adults aged 18 to 29. This vulnerability stems from factors like weakened immune systems, common chronic conditions such as heart disease, diabetes, or lung issues, and the way the virus can exacerbate these problems, leading to complications like pneumonia or organ failure. Vaccination has been positioned as a key tool in mitigating these dangers, but recent policy shifts have refined who it's most recommended for. In May 2025, under the leadership of HHS Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr., COVID-19 vaccines were removed from the CDC's routine immunization schedule for most populations, signaling a move toward more targeted use. Now, the focus is primarily on adults 65 and older, as well as those with high-risk conditions, where the evidence shows clearer benefits in preventing severe outcomes. Let's break down the benefits in more detail. The updated 2024-2025 COVID-19 vaccines, including formulations from Moderna, Pfizer-BioNTech, and Novavax, have been designed to target circulating variants more effectively, providing enhanced protection against hospitalization and death. For seniors, real-world studies indicate that in the first couple of months after vaccination, these shots can cut the risk of hospitalization by approximately 50% and the chance of critical illness, such as needing ICU care or facing mortality, by around 67%. This protection builds up within about 2 weeks and is most robust initially, though it does wane over time, typically after 4 to 6 months, which is why additional doses are now emphasized for this group. If you have comorbidities, the vaccines are even more crucial. For instance, they help prevent the virus from triggering heart attacks, strokes, or worsening respiratory issues in those with pre-existing conditions. Beyond immediate protection, getting vaccinated can also lower the odds of developing long COVID, a lingering condition that affects up to 10–20% of infected seniors, causing symptoms like chronic fatigue, brain fog, or joint pain that can disrupt daily life for months or even years. Think about it this way: for an older adult who might otherwise face a hospital stay or worse from a COVID infection, the vaccine acts like a shield, allowing you to continue enjoying activities such as gardening, playing with grandchildren, or traveling with less fear. Health experts from institutions like Johns Hopkins emphasize that the immune response trained by the vaccine recognizes and fights the virus more efficiently, reducing overall disease severity. Moreover, in community settings like nursing homes or senior living facilities, widespread vaccination among residents has been linked to fewer outbreaks and better overall health outcomes, creating a safer environment for everyone involved. Of course, no medical intervention is without potential downsides, and it's important to discuss the risks transparently, especially given the controversies that have surrounded COVID-19 vaccines. Most side effects are mild and short-lived, similar to those from a flu shot. Things like soreness, redness, or swelling at the injection site, along with fatigue, headache, muscle aches, chills, or a low-grade fever that typically resolve within 1 to 3 days. These are signs that your body is building immunity, and they're far more common than serious issues. However, rare but notable risks include allergic reactions, which might involve hives, swelling, or difficulty breathing, particularly if you have a history of severe allergies. So it's standard to wait 15-30 minutes post-vaccination for observation. There's also been attention on myocarditis and pericarditis, inflammation of the heart muscle or lining, which studies show is actually more frequent and severe after a natural COVID infection than after vaccination, especially in older adults where infection risks outweigh vaccine concerns. In seniors, the incidence of these cardiac issues post-vaccine is extremely low, but symptoms like chest pain or shortness of breath should prompt immediate medical attention. Long-term effects are still being monitored, but data from millions of doses administered worldwide suggest no widespread issues like increased cancer rates or infertility, myths that have been debunked by experts at Mayo Clinic and others. That said, the 2025 policy changes have sparked debate. Some critics argue that limiting routine recommendations to seniors and high-risk groups implies previous broad mandates may have overstated benefits for healthier populations, leading to confusion and eroded trust. For example, the FDA's new rigorous evaluation process has made it harder for those under 65 without risks to access boosters, prompting questions about equity and whether the vaccine's risks, though small, justify use only where benefits are clearest. Additionally, a small subset of studies has explored links to temporary mood changes or depressive symptoms in some vaccinated individuals, but these are uncommon and often tied to pre-existing factors rather than the vaccine itself. Overall, authoritative bodies like the FDA and CDC maintain that for seniors, the benefits substantially outweigh the risks, but they encourage shared decision-making with doctors to weigh personal health history. Shifting gears to healthcare measures, staying protected in 2025 involves more than just vaccines, it's about a holistic approach. For vaccination specifically, the CDC now recommends that adults 65 and older receive 2 doses of the 2024-2025 COVID-19 vaccine, spaced about 6 months apart, to maintain optimal protection against evolving variants. If you're moderately or severely immunocompromised, say, due to cancer treatment, organ transplants, or certain medications, you may need additional doses or alternatives like monoclonal antibodies such as pemivibart, administered at least 2 weeks after your last shot for extra defense. It's perfectly safe and often convenient to get your COVID vaccine at the same time as your annual flu shot or other routine immunizations like RSV or pneumonia vaccines. In fact, co-administration can streamline visits and minimize side effects by spacing if preferred. If you've recently recovered from COVID-19, it's advisable to wait up to 3 months before vaccinating to allow your natural immunity to play a role, but high-risk seniors should consult sooner to avoid delays in protection. Accessing these vaccines is straightforward and often free. Medicare, Medicaid, and most private insurances cover them fully, while uninsured folks can use state health department programs or community clinics. Check vaccines.gov for locations near you. Beyond shots, incorporate everyday habits. Wash your hands thoroughly with soap for at least 20 seconds, especially after public outings. Wear a well-fitted mask like an N95 in crowded indoor spaces or during travel. And maintain good ventilation at home by opening windows or using air purifiers to reduce viral spread. If symptoms like fever, cough, or loss of taste appear, test promptly with at-home kits and contact your doctor right away. Seniors over 50 may qualify for antiviral treatments like Paxlovid, which can slash hospitalization risk by over 50% if started within 5 to 7 days of symptoms. Nutrition and exercise play a big role too. Aim for a balanced diet rich in fruits, vegetables, and proteins to bolster your immune system, and engage in light activities like walking or yoga to keep your body resilient. Don't overlook mental health. Staying connected with loved ones via video calls or safe visits can combat isolation, which indirectly supports physical well-being. Community resources, such as senior centers hosting vaccine info sessions or transportation assistance from family or services like Uber Health, can make it easier to stay on top of these measures. Amid controversies, like the newly appointed CDC Advisory Committee stirring debates over vaccine policies, it's wise to seek information from reliable sources and discuss any hesitations openly with your provider. In wrapping up this comprehensive discussion, it's clear that while COVID-19 vaccines in 2025 are more selectively recommended, they remain a vital option for older adults, offering substantial protection against the virus's worst effects with mostly manageable risks. By combining vaccination with proactive health strategies, you can significantly enhance your quality of life and peace of mind. If doubts linger due to shifting guidelines or past experiences, remember that evidence evolves, and consulting trusted professionals is key. For more details, visit cdc.gov or fda.gov, or call the national hotline at 1-800-232-0233. Stay vigilant, stay healthy, and cherish those precious moments with the people you love. Thank you for watching, and take care.